on. Hello, everyone, and good day. I'm hosting here from the World Parks Academy. My name is Hannah, and I am happy to present our speaker today, Ludovic Provost from Plante Cité, and he will be presenting on various topics on research on urban green space. Thank you, Ludovic.
Thank you, Anna. I can start now?
You can.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm pleased to be with you today for this World Park Academy. I'm Ludovic Provost in charge of communication for Plante Cité. This webinar is about green space issues in France and about the way Plante Cité assists professionals to reach their best practices. The webinar is the second one we organized. The first one was last year by our director, Caroline Gutleben, who presented Plante Cité and green space contribution to society. If you would like to see the first presentation, you could find it in the WPA website, which is on the slide. So I'll start my presentation reminding you about urban challenges and how green space can contribute to the green city. After that, I will present you the French Technical Center Plante Cité, organization and activities. And I will finish by a focus on technical benchmark by Plante Cité. What will you learn during this hour? You will discover and have a better understanding of missions, goals, and objectives of the French Center Plante Cité. You will have a better overview of green space issues and technical support to reach best practices in France, as defined through research. And you will develop your network with the broader international community through research on urban green space issues. So let's start with a review of urban challenges and how green space can contribute to the green city. 11 urban challenges has been identified in cities by the European research program called Nature for Cities. Plante Cité is one of the partners of this program. Those challenges concern climate, with climate issues, water management, air quality. It concerns to environment, with green space management, including biodiversity, urban regeneration, including soils. Another challenge concerns resource efficiency. Other challenges are about social themes, public health and well-being, social justice and social cohesion, urban planning and governance, people security, and economy too, potential for economic opportunities and green jobs. To face those urban challenges, cities intend to foster nature-based solutions. Green space and nature offer opportunities to build healthy, sustainable cities. So nature in the cities play an important role. These, on the slide, you can see different actions inspired by or supported by natures to face urban challenges. So climate, environment, resource, social, economy. For example, you can see we can speak about rooftop farming, wetland, green roof and meadow, spontaneous flora, street trees, permeable paving, urban soil biodiversity, green roof, smart soils, alternative materials. So to develop nature-based solutions, professionals face technical issues and need to innovate and to experiment. In France, 10 years ago and still today, representatives of French professionals from local authorities. You have here in France 55,000 green space professionals working in local authorities, and here are the French representatives. The representative of landscape companies, you have in France 111,000 professionals working in landscape and ornamental horticulture, and here are the representatives. And you have 2 research institutes who work about horticulture and landscape issues. So 10 years ago and still today, professionals observe that parks and green space can play a positive role, face environmental issues, that there are big social expectations and needs for nature in cities, and they have technical and economic issues on how to better manage with decreasing means. So they decided to create a non-profit organization, Plante Cité, in 2005 in Angers, in order to progress and innovate together on collective issues concerning green space. The missions of Plante Cité are to carry out studies and experiments, to build partnership with green space stakeholders, and to share and spread knowledge. This project was conceived within the Vegepolis Competitiveness Cluster based in Angers and specialized in plants and green space. Hortis, which is a French organization which represents green space managers, is one of the founders of Plante Cité, and Hortis is a member of WPA association too. Here is the logo. So now I will speak about Plante Cité, the organization and activities. Today, the association have 515 members, which are city councils, landscape companies, landscapers, green infrastructure managers, professional federation, research institutions, and we are 15 employees. We also have members in Switzerland through a partnership with Plante Cité Suisse Association. Here, it's our partner in Switzerland. So I said the main mission of Plante Cité is to carry out studies, experiment, and research. Depending the issues, we have different kind of method to innovate and to find solutions. For example, we have experiments and research programs to develop new knowledge. We can do bibliographical studies and inquiries to explore new subjects and define needs and methods. We realize inquiries and benchmark to collect new data about green space and best practices. We realize to decision-making tools development, and we produce technical support to share knowledge. We coordinated 17 programs for 10 years. What about organization? Plante Cité have a scientific council who validate scientific methods at different stages. So it's a very important group for Plante Cité to validate our method and results. We animate working groups on different issues. I will speak after about the issues we work on. And the working group are composed by professionals from companies and local authorities. We have, so the working groups identify priority issues. We have a technical committee who analyze all demands and prioritize. The scientific council who validate, and the board of directors who votes programs and budgets. So that's the organization to carry out studies, experiment, and research. Now I will focus on some issues in France and how we produce tools and results for professionals. So let's focus on French issues now. I will start by urban soils. So we identified many issues concerning urban soils. We already coordinated 18 studies in these issues. Soils is the support of biodiversity in cities. It's still today little considered because of a lack of knowledge. So professional expectations concern many issues like smart soils and alternative materials to build soils, urban soil quality, biodiversity in soils, permeable paving, infrastructure for water management. So we have many issues. And I will focus now about the most important research project we coordinated to give answer in this theme, which is Sitair, a 4-year research program with 9 partners. It is about fertile soils construction using urban waste. So the originality of this project is to study the potentialities of urban recycled materials in substitute of the topsoils, a non-renewable resource. So for the constructions of fertile soil. We studied waste regulations, technical and economical feasibilities, and partners identify different kinds of waste we can use and experiment different mixtures to build fertile soils. So I will show you now the 11 materials and waste professionals identify to build fertile soil in the city. We identify 6 inorganic wastes, for example, concrete, ballast, railway stones, bricks, buildings demolition waste, and 2 kinds of excavated soils. We identified 5 organic wastes, green waste, paper industry waste, street sweeping, compost, and water waste treatment. And we experiment 6 mixtures and we realize the monitoring to identify the best mixture for soils constructions. The results are presented in a book edited in 2016. It's a French book. You can find it at the Monitor edition in France. And we have also a report available on our website in French too. So plantecité.fr. And we actually identify pilot sites to follow soils construction and monitoring their evolutions. So we realized this research program, and now we will try the results and we will try the fertile soils constructions with professionals in France. Another issue is soil permeability. So professionals need more information about technical possibilities to preserve urban soils permeability. So to help them, we start a benchmark on permeable covers, and we will identify different kinds of permeable covers in France. for example, natural stone pavement, honeycomb grass pavers, stabilized surfaces, and we will try to identify advantages and disadvantages and management means for keeping. And the results will help professionals to make their decision to choose the good material adapted to their conditions, to their city. So I will finish here for urban soils issues. I will speak now about another issue, which is plant innovation and diversification. It's a very important theme for Plante Cité and for French professionals. It concerns, for example, the diversity of plant species to adapt it to urban conditions, to work about green roofs, biodiversity, performance and maintenance, and to work too about vertical structures, green walls and facades. So there are big questions to choose the good plant for the right place, and Plante Cité work about on these themes. One of the most important projects we develop actually is a plant database and a web application to help professionals to choose appropriate plants for their project in cities. So it's called Fluoriscope. You have here the website. The application is in French, but it uses the scientific name of plants in Latin. So everybody can have a look on the application. And the originality of this project is to create a collective and scientific database with many partners, producers, botanical collections from local authorities, for example. And actually, the database counts 180,000 of plants. And you have a search engine and criteria to select the plant you adapted to the use to the condition in your city. So maybe if we have time, we can go at the end of the presentation to have a look on this presentation. Another study on this theme, in 2012, Plante Cité coordinated the first technical benchmark on green wall in France. The objective was to identify all the systems existing on the French market and to describe for each system the use context and the advantages and disadvantages and keeping conditions and some information about costs, because professionals, green space professionals need those informations in order to plan this kind of green infrastructure, and they need to know how many they need to know the cost of this kind of green infrastructure and the keeping management. So the report is available on our website in French too, but if you are interested, you can have a look on this. We will speak now about the green space management and indicators. In France, local authorities face decreasing means to manage green spaces. In addition, we have a regulatory context on pesticides and urbanism. So many professional expectations are identified by Plante Cité, such as cost for pesticides-free practices, ecological maintenance of green spaces, alternative weed control strategy. So there are many issues about management and indicators, and professionals are interested to share it with and work with Plante Cité. So to help professionals improve, for example, ecological best practices, we animate a collaborative project in France to promote green space ecological keeping. This project is called Jardin, and it has been created by Plante Cité in partnership with local authorities and green space professionals. So it's a collective project. Jardin is a technical tool and a communication tool. You can have here the technical guide for professionals who want to develop ecological keeping of their green space. And here is the picture of the label you can see in green space in France. Today, we have 400 green spaces labeled Jardin in France. And there is a dynamic, a French dynamic on ecological keeping. If you are interested, you can see more information. You can have more information on the website label Jardin. In France, we have pesticides objectives, pesticide-free objectives in green space. And weed management in France is a very important subject for green space professional and manager. One big issue is the choice of alternative method for weeding. And one of the big projects of Plante Cité is called CompaMed. It's a 4-year research program in order to compare alternative methods to replace pesticides in cities regarding environmental impact, efficiency, and costs. So we studied 4 methods, and for example, hand weeding, thermal weeding flame, thermal weeding vapor, and mechanical weeding. And we realized lots of experiments and scientific research to help professionals in their decision. The results are presented with data sheets, and we also have a website, a tool, an informatic tool to help professionals making their choice. On this subject, we realize other studies on weeds perceptions and communications, which is a very important way to improve the green space without pesticides, pesticide-free green spaces. Another theme is landscape and urbanism. We also work on this theme to develop knowledge about place of plants in the city. I'll focus on the cemetery issues because cemetery management in pesticides-free objectives is a delicate issue due to the symbolism and emotion attached to such locations. Traditional cemetery are in France mainly mineral, and weeds are not really accepted by inhabitants. This issue concerns all the local authorities in France because each city council have one or many cemetery. In France, we have 40,000 cemetery exactly. So we decided to study cemetery landscape in France during 2 years, and we realized an inquiry to identify best practices, experiences, and difficulties professionals, green professionals have to keep this green space. After that, we analyzed the technical actions for cemetery, ecological, and landscaping evolutions, and we produce a technical guide for professional. The picture here is a cemetery of a small town in France. It's before it was the picture before working on landscape and plant diversification. And you have on this picture the results of the landscape innovation with plants. So you can see that this kind of green space cemetery offers good opportunities for plants development, and it's a good example to show how plants can enhance landscape. You have here the picture of the guide of the technical sheet, which is available on our website. On this theme, landscape and urbanism, an important challenge for urban green space professionals is to develop scientific knowledge on the benefits of urban vegetation for citizens, environment, and economy. Last year, Caroline Gottlieben presented the results of a study we realized. This study summarizes the scientific researches, and you can find this English presentation on the website of Plante Cité. It presents the 10 key benefits identified under the 3 pillars of sustainable development. So for people, for natural balance and environment, and for economy. So on this topic, on benefits of urban green space, we need to progress particularly about the benefits of urban vegetation on health, mental and physical health, and Plante Cité start a research study on this subject. So it's a big theme to develop knowledge and research. So I will finish the small presentation of the French issues and some example of works, of activities and results. I just inform you that Plante Cité will participate to the International Congress in Melbourne, organized by the World Urban Parks Association and Park Leisure Australia. And my colleagues, Caroline Gottlieben, Director of Plante Cité, and Pauline Lai, Project Manager in Economy and Management, will present 2 conferences, one about the pesticide-free cities trend, creative ways to healthier landscapes, and another one about nature-based solutions for healthier cities. So if you participate to this congress, you will see Plante Cité and those presentation. So I spoke about the experiment and research mission of Plante Cité, and another mission is to share and to spread knowledge to all the professionals in France. So we develop different kind of services and resources for our members such as publication. You can have some example of publications here. We realized two documentary network, technical and scientific bulletins. We have our website and for our members and all professionals. We organize technical meeting thematic and webinars too. So all those services will help professionals to have to develop their knowledge and to share their experiments about green space and nature in the city. Thank you. So I will finish my presentation here. So you can visit the website and do not hesitate to ask the Plante Cité team about our activities and project and research. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ludovic. That was a great introduction to all the different topics Plante Cité is working on. So I look forward to checking out those resources you provided. We have some time left, so if anyone has questions, we can take 10 minutes and answer those questions, open up for a discussion. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions? You can, if you have a microphone, use the microphone. If not, there's a chat feature. You can type out the question. Feel free to ask in French or in English.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Jean-Marie Rogel from the city of Lyon. Thank you for the presentation. It was also interesting for me to have the presentation in English.
Thank you.
It's always interesting. I have no question, but it was very interesting.
Thank you.
I took a couple notes. I was interested, Ludovic, about the materials of waste that you identified and when you talked about the mixtures. And I was wondering what were some of the results of that? Maybe you could talk about what one of those mixtures was.
I can say some more information, but my colleague specialized on this theme is Olivier Damas, and yes, in Plante Cité, each colleague have a specialty. So for soil, it's Olivier. What I can tell about the mixtures we realized for fertile soils constructions is that we think about fertile soils for different kind of plants. So we think about a mixture for trees to plant trees in city. So it's a kind of mixture. We think about a mixture for grass and widow. So it's another kind of mixture. So we think about the different use and the different needs of the different plants in the city: trees, shrubs, grass. So we work about this. You have a webinar in our website in French. But during its 1 hour webinar, and Olivier explained.
Great.
You can have more information.
I'll check out the website then. Thank you. Then I was also interested in the Eco Jardin label, and what are some of the different, if you could briefly talk about some of the different requirements to achieve that label, if there are different categories, and what are those?
Yeah. Jardin is a very important project for Plante Cité and for all the partners, local authority professionals. And yeah, you have many many issues about ecological keeping, not only pesticides and weeds management. You in this to be labelized Jardin, you have to pay attention to the quality of the maintenance, the use of the materials for keeping the green space, about the water management. You have to give information about the training you give to the person who keep the green space. You have to give information about how do you manage the biodiversity. If you realized a benchmark about the actual biodiversity, and yeah, there are, I think, seven big issues, seven big theme in Jardin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a question? Okay. Well, that's all I have. Thanks again for taking the time today, Ludovic. There will be continuing education units available after the webinar on provalence, and they cost $15 US, and it's a short assessment of 5 questions. And if you look, I'll type in the chat box. So you can go to this website and log in and have access to the recording of this webinar and the assessment. We also offer certification programs in partnership with Ortiz. If you are interested in that, feel free to email me at World Parks Academy @gmail.com. And then there is also information on our website if you Google World Parks Academy. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us, and this webinar will be recorded and posted if you would like to share with anyone. And that's all I have today. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Ludovic, for that great.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you very much.
you.
And thank you for your participation. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.